Hey, hey, ho, ho. Wait a minute. Yeah, we go. All right. I think we're good. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. It is a rainy, blustery day in San Diego. That's exciting. I picked the wrong time to have a bald head. It kind of makes it cold. Brrr. Luckily, I've got a few nice hats, and I don't really like the way I look with a hood, though. I look like the emperor. Okay. Good morning. It is Love Morning, and this is a beautiful opportunity to connect and to take a breath and think about who do we want to be today? Who do you want to be today? Who do you want to be? I believe that's Oingo Boingo. And yeah, and try to just think, is there ways that we can be more connecting today? Good morning, Al. Al was saying, I hope your morning is on a better trajectory than yesterday. It is, and I'm a little worried about why. Good morning, Izzy. But that's all right. I'm in a good space in this moment. So I will enjoy it. I will enjoy my mud water, charging into over 4 weeks of no coffee, no intoxicants, no Adderall, no stimulants. And sometimes doing great. And more often, just okay. Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Izzy and Faith. Faith is thankful to be here and for these last few days of cool weather. Sending love from Key West, where we are all one human family. Thank you, Faith. Yeah, good morning. I hadn't. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Like, there's parts of my experiences lately that I'm trying to figure out how much to share and how much not to share. I think I've been talking about that a little bit. And I have a tradition, I have a tendency, from long ago, I have found help and healing and soothing from just sharing, just being transparent. Sometimes when I'm reading some of these books, self-help books that I've been reading lately, they're like, don't be afraid of letting people know your truth. I'm like, I feel like I say my truth almost about everything. The only thing that I haven't been, totally honest with is about, intoxication. And lately I have been. So, what am I afraid of? But there's also things to share. Like I don't want to be leaning on sharing as if it's like depending on feedback. Because that's one of my challenges, getting external feedback and worrying about what people think and caring and liking and trying to find the self-generated joy. But anyways, before I share that, I will make sure we say hello, share some gratitude. I would love to say hello to you. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Brandy. Brandy is grateful for the sunshine and for her phone reminding them to be there. Maria is here. Good morning. Maria is grateful for a friend that brought me flowers, even though it's not really a gift because I told her to buy them for me. I feel so happy going around the city with bright yellow flowers. Oh, I love thinking of you smiling with yellow flowers. Good morning, Maria, or good day. Ooh, wind is howling. I have to go check on the leak in my ceiling that only leaks when it's really pouring. But Maria is also grateful how lucky she feels for the connections she's making lately. Grateful for insight, for wisdom, and for love, 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 love. Yay! Good morning, Luna. Luna is saying good morning from Ohio. I just returned from a teeny burn in Indiana called Equilumia, and grateful for how it reset my spirit to reconnect with my people, art, and silliness. I needed it. That's a good reminder. I have been not seeking out, not attending, like Bequinox is happening right now in LA, which if it's anything like this, it's Weather's terrible. But I have been afraid to go to Burning Man events since last burn, and since I'm not partying. And by withdrawing from these activities, I'm also withdrawing from a deep amount of community connection that has, has fed me. So actually, I just sent a note to a friend saying I'm looking for ways to find role models and mentors, and community that is, in a similar space that I'm at. Izzy is grateful for being gentle with herself and accepting that I'm a do-it-yourself phase for my coaching business, understanding that it's a lot of trial and error and enjoying the process. I'll make a video of myself to put it in an IG reel, to run an ad for my online Tai Chi course. Wish me luck. You got this, Izzy. I love seeing your progress and your posts. Good morning, Drac. Hello, good morning. And good morning, Evelyn. Hello to you in France. Al is grateful for the rise in temperature heralding spring weather, at least in London. Sweet. So just so you know, I'm live on Facebook and on YouTube right now. We got people from France and London and throughout the US and Barcelona and right here in San Diego, like Jennifer Quest. Good morning. Jennifer is grateful for her sweet daughter. She got her ears pierced this weekend and was so excited this morning to go to school and show it off. She is such a precious soul, and I'm grateful to be her mama. Oh, that's so beautiful. I just, yeah, I so love seeing that kind of love. Good morning, Steve. Happy Tuesday to you. Good morning, good morning. I have a very wide open day today, so I'm going to try to avoid too much social media. So I'm grateful for that. You know what I didn't do? I didn't start this with a song, which is probably for the best. If you guys know that I start every episode with a song. If you tune in the middle, you might not know. I make it up. So if you want to maybe use a bathroom break while I do this, this would be the time. Do 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 do. It's time for do 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 love morning. Do 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 do. It's time for do 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 lifting our attitude. Do 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 with gratitude. Do 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 do. All right. Sometimes they're good. Usually they're not. Evelyn says, happiness is in caring, sharing, giving, and gratitude. Thank you for all the happiness you give us. Oh, that feels good. I've been feeling damaged lately and kind of my cup has not felt full. But, I got to remember that what I preach is that we are all fully qualified exactly as we are to be ambassadors of love. And so even in a state and a place where I am not at what felt like my energetic best, that doesn't mean that I am not in a place to share love and share gratitude. And even in sharing authentic space, that can be a place of that can be a gift. So, and I appreciate the people that are reminding me that. Good morning, Gracie. Buenos dias. Gracie is grateful for her health, a warm home, and job security. Happy new moon, everyone. Yes, happy new moon. Dave, good morning. Dave is thankful for his life and calm. Calm. That is something that I have been really trying to practice. There's a book that I'm reading about self-observation that says, like, when in doubt, just calm your body. Just keep trying to, and so I've been really trying to go, like, catch myself when I'm in the middle of something, go, okay, be aware of what I'm doing, trying to get myself into observer mode, which is sometimes contrary to what has worked for me in the past, of just getting in the flow and energizing and stimulants and whether it's intoxicants or stimulants, just get in the flow and just move. And so now I'm trying to slow down, observe, notice my body, feelings, sensations if I can, which is less fun And I think I'm less productive. And but I think that's the path I have to be on right now. Al is grateful for the concept of kintsugi. Speaking of feeling broken, that's the one with the pots broken they put back together, I believe. Is that right? Well, Brandy says she likes the songs and that my feeling is part of a bigger gunk that we're all going through. I mean, the bigger gunk, that's one reason why I'm focused on like I need to go inward is because I don't find if I spend too much energy in the external world, I find that to be debilitating. I don't want to attach my happiness to making the world a better place because there's too much. I will just try to make myself better and then do what feels right and trust that that will be the positive change that is required of me. Cindy, good morning. There's a shift coming for us all, hoping it will feel lighter soon. That would be nice. Good morning, Joyous. Happy new moon to you. And I appreciate you liking the songs, Luna. All right, Cindy is grateful to be celebrating your birthday this week. Happy birthday. Neck is grateful for this nice sunny day. Woohoo! It is not sunny here in San Diego. We've had more rain here than ever in my life. And it's weird. Like last night, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go for a hike tomorrow. I got a full day. But I'm like, oh, I mean, I got a nice raincoat and I got galoshes, but I might even, maybe I will. Maybe I'll go walk around the block. But I don't think I want to be anywhere with a trail. It'll be so fucking muddy. Or is that old man John saying, stay out of the mud? Maybe I should find someplace muddy. Maybe I should find someplace muddy. Maybe I'll go to the old canyon that I used to go to by my parents' house, Rose Canyon. It'll probably be so flooded. But you know what? I'm trying to get in touch with my childlike self. That is one of my 4 therapists gave me that recommendation. Go play more. So maybe I got to get out in the rain. Man, my list of things that I should do is certainly long right now. It's raining in Esco as well. Hello, Ruth. Good morning. If you got something you're grateful for, we'd love to hear it. If you are looking forward to something or something just happened, I'm grateful for this weekend. I have mentioned it a few times, but I am so grateful for the 3-year anniversary of the Gratitude Circles, and grateful that one of our regulars from Israel went into labor during our celebrations. So a little gratitude baby born, the second baby born within our kind of regular group, which is pretty amazing. And grateful for the kind of, wow, I just got like a total emotional hit. Wow. I've been so like, I guess, struggling that I was really having a hard time celebrating the 3-year anniversary. I was saying the words, but I just felt it right there, like, whew. I'm really proud of that. Wow, that was awesome. Wow. I had this experience on Sunday where I went. So Saturday was the gratitude anniversary, and I was like, I didn't cry during the 3-year during our celebrations. I was intellectually proud and intellectually, was sharing, but I didn't feel this. I've just been having a hard time, with some stuff. and 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 then the next day, and then Saturday night, I went to the 3 year anniversary, and I left a little early to go celebrate my mom's 80th birthday, and it was beautiful. And then the next day, I went to a circle that was partially led by my ex partner, who I am still in love with, even though she doesn't want me. She's supportive of me, but she doesn't, and it was, I thought maybe I could handle it because there's so much I thought I could, and maybe I can handle it, but it was hard for me to listen to this person that I have such a beautiful admiration for. We split up during our honeymoon phase, so, or she broke up with me while I was in my honeymoon phase, so I still see her as this idealized person. And so when I'm telling too much information. The point is, seeing her, and I was very much in this headspace of I've had a hard time feeling that I'm doing good or feeling that I'm progressing, and it was and I had a hard time celebrating the gratitude. I went to a party Sunday afternoon, and when people ask, what have you been up to? And these people that haven't known me in a long time, I said, well, I had my heart broken a month ago, and because that's all I could think about. Even though the day before we celebrated our 3-year anniversary, 3 years of twice a day gratitude. You know how much I've done a lot of shit in my life. I've done weekly love mornings. I've done I've done weekly hug nations for 20 years. I've done monthly first Saturdays for 13 years. But a twice a day practice for 3 years is way more than any of those. I have almost 1,800 videos on YouTube, but this is well over 2,000 gratitude circles, closer to 2,500 gratitude circles I've done in the last 2 months. I mean, that's a fucking lot. And in that moment at this party, we were like, what have you been up to? All I could say was, I've been dealing with heartbreak. And here's the thing, I still, even if, I don't know. So, sorry, I'm not sorry. Thanks for your patience as I kind of lost track of the chats and what you guys have said, but thank you. That was wild. Janice, that's so hard. On the plus side, I had not been with this person for very long. On the minus side, I hadn't been long enough to, learn her shortcomings. Okay, I'm noticing. No, not 3 years sobriety. 3 years of gratitude circles. 3 years of gratitude circles. I only have 1 month of sobriety. Thanks. So, I'm trying to figure out what to do with myself. My okay, my therapist, one of my therapists is like, start to notice when you're like, I'm like, my feet are doing this right now, which I do a lot of. I often do jittery movement, but whew. So I'm really trying to adjust my awareness of myself. Self-observation is kind of the big, one of the focal points for me right now. I mean, it's kind of been focus of my life, self-observation, right? When people go, "What's your YouTube channel about?" I'm like, "Me? It's about my journey, the lessons that I learn, and hopefully people get stuff out of it." Because we're all kind of going on the same journey in different details, different people, but we all struggle with so much of the same things. So I have found that simply by trying to be as honest as possible, that there is a healing benefit to that. That actually, like, that people want, like, how did this journey start? And if you've read my book, my second book, Protagonist, I talk about this. Thank you, Natasha. Good morning. Natasha says I get something out of it. It means a lot to me, Natasha, that we have this, online connection now. Thank you. No, it wasn't Grandpa Caleb. Long before I got Grandpa Caleb inspired me. I was doing I had a website that I was writing funny stories, and I started to do funnier. First one, they were just kind of like this silly, or comics and sexual, and just trying to be gross. And I mean, it was Prehensile Tales. It was a zine first, and then I put it on the web, and I would share about. And I started to share more and more personal stories, and people seemed to like love it the more personal I got. So I wrote one that was called "Open Letter to the Women of the World" regarding helping me have orgasms. And I talked about some of my challenges with climaxing when I don't feel trust, or when I'm feeling that I'm worried about my partner's pleasure. And it was funny. It was a funny article, but it was also very revealing. And I got a couple emails from guys who were like, "Holy shit, dude, I thought I was the only one. Do you know how hard it is to explain to a woman that it's not her?" And I'm like, "Yeah, exactly." Like, every woman goes, even if you say in advance, like I might not climax, just so you know, it's nothing, it's not you. And they go, "Well, you haven't been with me yet." And they go, "Oh, but you don't think I'm pretty?" And you're like, "No, no, 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 no." So these guys from across the world, sent me these messages going, "You sharing your story is liberating for me, because I know I'm not alone." And I was like, "What is this feeling? This is the feeling I want. I want to do this. Whatever this is, I want to do this." I know it's not a job. There's no job involved with telling your story and hoping that people resonate with it, but I will do whatever I have to do, work a job so that I can do this, because this is what I'm supposed to do. And that has been my life. That has been the last 24 years of my life. And you're right, Janice. Now it is my job. It wasn't then, but now it is. You do something long enough, you find enough people that value it. Is prehensile.com? Yeah, prehensile.com is up. In fact, you can read that essay. I think it's still on there, prehensile.com. I know Luna says, I've heard that from so many men, you are not alone. And actually, I've heard it's become a much bigger thing. I don't know if it's because more people are talking about it now, but it's also because of the rise of antidepressants and porn. Like, online porn is so readily available. Back then, it was, you know, free porn was not a thing. If you look for porn on your computer back then, you would get viruses and all sorts of stuff, or you'd have to pay for it. And so it was the overstimulation of male genitalia and triggers, mind triggers, is worse than ever. So I've heard from, you know, sex workers that it's amazing how many guys just, you know, are numb. I don't think I was numb. My thing was generally that although I had a brain cock connection that required feeling safe and trusting, so I could let go of the anxiety of, am I not performing? You know, am I not pleasing the person? You know, so there's a long story to that, which is part of. I have a whole hour and a half live one-man show that I did about that, as well as I have a 300-page book that is about that whole life story around that. But the article that's on prehensile.com about Open Letter to the Women of the World, that also kind of touches on the basics of that. Thank you, Laura. All right. Good job, Ruth. Sitting in the car, eating breakfast in the rain. I love that. I love picturing you doing that. Thanks for being a part of this love morning. Good morning, Michael. And Laura. Good morning, anyone else who has joined us. Good morning, Shannon. And anyone that I may have missed, thank you for saying hello. And if you want to share something you're grateful for, I am so grateful for this space. You know, the last few days, I have not been the, hey, good morning vibe that I was for so many months and even almost years doing this. And I was feeling like maybe I need to stop doing these love mornings. But today, I don't feel that way. Today, I feel like, oh, this is part of my practice. It's part of my spiritual practice. You are part of my spiritual community. So thank you for giving me a safe space. I don't know. I mean, if you were here a minute ago and you just saw those fucking tears just like hit me, I'm an easy crier, but they usually don't just like, that was like I got hit in the face with a pie of tears. Like, wow. And that's I can look at my little sobriety calendar, so it's not like I'm hungover or fragile or something. I am 28 days. No coffee, no Adderall, no alcohol, no ketamine, no GHB, none of that. Natasha is grateful the pharmacy just called to confirm they will fill Paxlovid in the next 30 minutes. I saw your post of your sleep from the night before. I was like, oh, I thought mine was bad, and then I saw yours. My sleep last night sucked. I never used to wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know what the problem is. That's too much. I don't want to wake up that much. Oh, you probably can't see it. Good morning, Salona. Waiting on hold with the California Franchise Tax Board. Oh, well, I'm glad that we can spend some de-stressing time because that does not sound fun. So I'm grateful for this moment to connect with you. And I'm grateful that you're in the world. Every time I see you posting about something you're doing, I'm like, man, I'm glad there's people like Salona in the world. Claire says, hey, from the UK. Loving this physical transformation and vulnerability around my inner journey. Thank you. And good morning, Kate. Good morning, Elise. Amy is grateful for the new moon energy today as I set goals and work towards my abundant future. Boom! Al says, morning gratitudes start just as I'm wrapping up in the office. It's a nice way to round off the working day. Remind me where you are, Al? Al also saying that I've been a helpful and gracious guide with regard to the practicalities of his Burning Man journey. But that's another thing that's been struggling with. Like so much of my identity has been around Burning Man guy, and I have not felt so connected to that lately. The last burn was so difficult for me. My connection to the org is not as strong as it was, or I never had a strong connection, but my desire to be their, ally is less than it ever has been. And but I get a huge amount of praise and strokes and feel good feelings from people as they, re- watch Burning Man videos that I've made. And so it's a difficult thing for me to shave my pink hair and leave behind this thing that gives me so much. Good job, good boy, you did good, proud of you. Since that's something that I in my reparenting, and this, my journey right now is trying to figure out how can I not require so much external good job. That deep down I have unworthiness, and deep down I have even shame when I'm not awesome. That's something that came out this morning. I was talking with my ex, and I shared something, and she really had an insightful thing. She said, "Is do you feel guilt or possibly shame?" And it's shame around, I'm worried that what other people think. I'm worried that they're going to think that I'm stupid or naive, or even if they think that I'm anything but perfect, that I'll be ashamed. Now, perfect can be flawed. I believe I'm perfectly, I believe I'm proud of my level of vulnerability. So I don't feel judged by that. But if I was trying to be vulnerable and I was being pretentious about it, or if I felt like I was being out of integrity and I thought people were judging me, or you're going like, who's this guy? Oh, he's crying on webcam. Oh, that's, then I would be like, what are they judging me? Do they like, and then I would be ashamed. So I'm trying to dig down to the root of that. Okay, I'm all over the place this morning. Salona's saying, I so feel you on the Burning Man thing. Yeah. It's hard to deal with so much criticism running Burning Man camps. It's so double edged, because there's also so much joy in providing something that people find awesome, but there's also there's I had some rough things happen at the end of so when I was driving home from the burn last year, I shouldn't be saying this publicly. All right, I'll say it. I was on the way home from the burn last year when I was COVID positive still. I was still dealing with the fucking worst burn I've ever had. I was exhausted. I was struggling. I was like taking all the caffeine I could to get home, just to make it home. And I see a message from a person in our camp as they did their I quit the camp, and here's all the things that's wrong with our leadership. And I fucking snapped. This is a person who I admit I did not do as good a job as I could have in dealing with the complaints against him during the pandemic. But I kind of disciplined him in a way that he felt was unfair. And so he attacked me. But I did the disciplining privately and tried to let him have save face so that all the accusations were not public. And then he attacked me, or leadership, which is me, publicly to the entire camp. And I was so fucking tired, and I was so exhausted, and I was like, I was so upset. I was not being my best self. And the thought of all of these people that I'd already been sick, and I felt like I let people down, and to have this person say, just, I, I lashed out, and I said, okay, if you want this to be a public conversation, let's make it a public conversation. Here are all the things that you were accused of. This is why I asked you to blah, 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 blah. And it was hurtful. Like, I wanted to hurt him when I did that. I felt like he'd struck at me and I struck back. And I'm not proud of that. But that process is fucking taxing, Like, I mean, in some ways, I guess it's a good, how do we learn? How do we grow? Is those experiences. And I understand why I did it. I'm not even sure if I would have the strength to do it differently if I was in the same position again. But it is exhausting. I've stepped down from leadership of Pink Heart. I'm not a part of Pink Heart decision making, or I'm not responsible at all this year. So, what a fun love morning this has been today. Lots of tears and wild memories. Good morning, Ingrid. Kate, is it Kate? Kate? Saying, I think your connection is with people around the world, not Burning Man. You're capable of bigger things. I like to think of that. And maybe that's part of my journey right now, is trying to figure out how I can have the confidence to put myself out there to more people. That's one of my motivations in doing this inner work right now, is to try to figure out what are the deep self-worth, what are the deep embarrassment, insecurities that keep me from charging harder in the world, being bigger in the world. Like, did any of you see, I mean, you may have had a Facebook thing pop up, but did I email anybody on my mailing list saying, hey, I'm going live right now? I just keep showing up in a meek way, which I'm finding is related to my early childhood stuff of like, don't ask people for their attention, because if they look at you like, why are you bothering me? That is the shame feeling that I'm struggling with. I know it's not real anymore, but it's so deep. So I'm trying to dig it all out. Natasha saying, just an FYI, I feel honored to have been a part of your journey a couple decades ago. That's I'm honored to have shared so much growth with you too. And in something I wrote, and I posted it, I didn't post it on Facebook because it said too much about my ex in it, but she had some parting words for me that really highlighted the things that I'm talking about. Like, she saw this inner insecurity, this either unworthiness, and she saw that it was getting in the way of things in my life. And she said, you need to really find that, and I don't have the capacity to hold space for you as you figure this out and do this growth, if you're going to do it. And she basically said, you do good stuff in the world, but you're coming from a place of false self-love, which was kind of like me hearing the person that I cared about and trusted more than anything in the world say what my inner voice says all the time, which is, you're a fraud. I know the fraud is a little bit, that's putting a judgment on it, but it certainly stung. And when I wrote about it, I said, I think that most of my exes would agree with her, though. The people that know me the best know that I'm very flawed. Hey, Hather Earthfire. Oh, right on. Subscribed after seeing my High Ren reaction video. That's awesome. Hello, welcome, good morning. I do a morning broadcast every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It doesn't usually go this long, and I don't always cry, but I've been going through a lot lately. I just try to be authentic, and we try to focus on gratitude. So if you got something you're grateful for, love hearing that. Or examples of trying to be connecting in the world, even good or bad, because we can kind of be a support group to one another. Sorry, I'm not reading all the comments out loud. I'm in a state right now. Al says, I'm grateful for extra John time. Oh, thank you, Al. Luanson, how cool is it that your ex cared enough to push you in a direction that will open your life to even better things? Ooh, that's one way to say it. I'm trying to have gratitude for that. And that's one reason I continue to like reach out to her for some advice and things, because she is very insightful. But every time I reconnect with her, it's like having, it's like it reopens the wound or freshens the addiction, you know? Like I wake up in the middle of the night with a thought about, wait, if she said this, then why didn't she want to do this with me? Why wouldn't she? You're like, oh fuck, dude, go back to bed, let it go. And you know, if I have no contact with her, that tends to fade over. I've only got a month of practice, but I had no contact for 2.5 weeks, and it felt like I'm like, okay, I can talk to her again. And I'm not so sure if that's true. Or then again, maybe what I'm trying to figure out is that pain, open wound, is that actually good for me right now? Is that motivating? Is that keeping me on track? And maybe I should stay in contact. I mean, it's not ideal if I want to start another relationship. It's not ideal. Hi, Ashley. Oh, Ashley's here after watching the video on wisdom of trauma. Oh, Ashley, I'm so glad that you're here and that you sent that comment, because you wrote the comment and I just saw that you did, and so I went back to go and I rewatched some of that video, and that video is when I first was talking about how I'm becoming aware that even though I thought I had a perfect childhood and trauma didn't apply to me, that, oh my gosh, no, I did have childhood trauma. Nothing, my parents were awesome, but they also did the best they could with what they had, which meant there was things that I wished that I got as a kid that I didn't. Anyway, that's another story, but it's interesting. So that video was, I think, in 2021, and how much it's just a really thank you for this divine angelic reminder, because like my self-awareness now of my trauma is so much more. And even though I've been frustrated over the last few weeks because my massive work in this area has not cured me, I need to have faith that I am making progress, even if I don't feel joyful and happy. Gracie saying, this is where the people-pleasing we are unlearning comes to play. We are constantly evolving, so be gentle with yourself. Shadow work can be heartbreaking, yet give yourself grace as well. Yeah. Claire saying, codependency has been a huge issue for me over my life. See, I don't feel like I am codependent. Like, I generally would consider myself to be on the codependency narcissistic spectrum. In my relationships, I'm generally on the narcissistic. I'm more self-centered than, and I've kept that distance. This relationship that I just had, where I got heartbroken, was the first time in a long time that I really have kind of been the needier one, I think. And but but I thought I was being healthier. I'm like, look, see, I'm getting over my avoidance. But then maybe I was insecure attached. I'm learning about that stuff as well. Hey, Liesel, good morning. Thank you for being here. Oh, feeling those hugs. I need to watch Moonstruck, especially after I just watched Valley Girl with Nicolas Cage. If you do not listen to my other podcasts, I have two podcasts. One about personal growth, where this week's episode is about grief. That's Stay Sparked. And the other podcast is about talking about 80s movies, and we just did Valley Girl, and that's called Hard on the 80s, or sometimes it comes up as Gratuitous Boobs if you're searching for it. Good morning, Chris. Wow, we've been live for 50 minutes. This is a long love morning, but I appreciate this chance. It's been healing for me, so thank you. And if something came up that I missed that you said, feel free to, tag me or message me. If you're new to me or this, I urge you to go to johnstin.com, JOHNSTYN.com. There's an offer for a free sticker that I will send you. There is notification of my gratitude circles that are free twice a day. We have Zoom gratitude meetings that I host. There's also, I have a t-shirt store. Am I wearing a t-shirt? Yes, look at this. I'm wearing a Grandpa Caleb shirt. This is it's a beautiful glass, there's also a link to my TEDx talk on that page where you'll understand why It's a Beautiful Glass is such a significant part of my life, and why Grandpa Caleb is such a significant part of my life. He passed in 2007. Man, I am flooding this broadcast with stuff. If you've been following, you must be drinking coffee or have a sharp mind. Hey, good morning, Mike. Yes, this is my I've shed my past look. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Susan. You think I look younger? I think I look older because like the gray is so visible. Well, thank you. Oh, well, Ashley, I'm so glad. What an affirming day this has been for me, of that kind of ongoing awareness that I have, or that I don't really know what the hell I'm doing, but I share my journey. I share the lessons as I'm learning them, share the reflections, try to find the silver linings and the gratitudes and the wisdom in the path. And I think because the human experience is really so much more alike than different, that we can often find things in each other that we can learn from. That's also why we do the gratitude circles. If you listen to other people sharing their authentic truth, you get to learn from other people's lives. So I try to do that on a amplified way. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. I think we should close with a hug, and then I will head off into this day filled with this beautiful energy. That's one of the goals of these morning broadcasts, is to come together, find like-minded, open-hearted people, know that we're not alone, and know that as we collect this vibe of self-healing and support and kindness and connection, we then can take that and be ambassadors of that as we go into the world. Love ambassadors. That's what we are being here. So wherever you are in this moment, give yourself a big squeeze. And as you feel this connection, feel yourself being held by me and everyone who's here and everyone's ever been through this space. Feel yourself squeezing me, feel me squeezing you, connected not by physicalness, but by intention. Doesn't matter where your feet are, it matters where your heart is. So let's feel connected, sink into this shared humanity as we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thank you for being here for this love morning. If anybody has a personal question that I could answer, I will keep broadcasting for a little bit and we can hang out and talk more. I need to use the restroom. I can't tell if you can tell me, like, bouncing in my chair. I've been drinking tea like crazy and I got a crazy. So if you got to go have fun in your day, enjoy your day. Thank you for the powerful gift that you gave me today for being a part of this. If you want to stick around and have some question, I would love to address it in 60 seconds. I love you. All right. Well, I am so relieved to have an empty bladder and a full heart. All right. Joyous is asking, I have a question about your therapy because it sounds like something I could benefit. I only have a talk therapist and want to know what to Google for the bodywork therapies to supplement talk therapy, if you don't mind sharing. Sure. Before I answer that, I'll say Ashley saying that the virtual hug brought her to tears. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. So I started doing group hugs on the internet in 2001, right after 9/11. And I was doing them every week ever since. And then in the last 3 years, I've been doing them daily. And you're right, we can connect. These digital tools do a lot of harm, but they also can really connect us. So I'm so glad that we got to connect in this moment. Thank you, Ashley. I love you. Okay, so my therapy, that's a tough, so I have two therapists that are, it's not body work, it's somatic therapy. So it is talk therapy. It's just that they will often like pause and have me notice things in my body, or they'll notice me do something and they say, how do you feel now? Like can you explain why your hands are like that? Or what are you feeling right now? And so I'm trying to kind of break out of just mind and becoming aware of the way I'm feeling. So they call it, I mean, it's a pretty broad term, but somatic therapy. Some of them do touching. Like one of my therapists will like come sit next to me and touch me. I'm not sure how much I like that or how much it's even helpful. But the other one, it's more just trying to become aware of I tend to be very practiced in my thoughts, but there's like 5 parts to the way you react. And the idea behind somatic therapy or thematic healing is that we trap things in the body. The book, The Body Keeps the Score, that's one of like the main books about it. And the idea is that in nature, if I'm being repetitive, you don't have to, you can say, oh yeah, I know this part, but why don't animals have PTSD? I'm gonna grab my tea, excuse me. So animals have lives that are extremely stressful, right? I mean, it's totally normal for, a bear to have a cub, eaten. Animal. But how come they don't freak out and have PTSD and because, or even if it's not eaten, they have to defend their cubs from attackers. Imagine how stressful it would be, if we are like survive a car crash or something like that. But that's daily life in nature is like that. And the theory and the idea is that animals have a built-in way of like physically dealing with stress after a situation. So according to my therapist, a bear will defend their cubs against a bobcat. And then once everything's safe and the family's safe, they will go off into a cave and shake for like 45 minutes, just do this process to clear out all of this experience to get back to baseline. But humans are the only mammal that has this frontal cortex. I don't know if I'm not a scientist. The word just pops in my head. I'm not sure if that's the right one, but they don't. So we don't go through the process of the physical purging of all that. We start to make sense of things. And we start to like make a cerebral context for things that have happened. And so we trap in ourselves aspects of trauma. And so the idea of somatic therapy is to go allow the body to release that stuff. I think I haven't done that yet. Although I thought I was doing that when I had my breath work. I thought maybe that was. Maybe I might be better than I might be better than I've been. Who knows? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm better. Al saying, I wonder if that therapy has connections with EFT. So EFT is one of the tools of body regulation. Within somatic therapy, there's all these ways that we regulate our bodies. Breathing is like the main one. There's a bunch of types of breathing. EFT, tapping. I just started doing that. I'm surprised how much I fucking love it. Ruth says yes. All right, a few EFT fans here. I just started that maybe 2 weeks ago. But I like just that, what I just did, I notice a physical reaction in my body. And just, so part of my journey right now is being aware of like tuning into that physical difference. My whole life I have been thought-based. So just being aware of the difference in the physical body. For example, I generally, for the longest time, I had no connection between what I ate and how I felt. I just wasn't in tune with how I felt. So I'm slowly building up that awareness, which then helps me, like this morning, which I posted something. and I think I mentioned earlier, I posted it only on Patreon because I only wanted a few people to read it. And then I remembered, oh shit, my ex is a patron. She's going to see this. She's the only person I didn't want to see this because I kind of paraphrased her. And so I woke up this morning going, holy shit, like, and I was like, and so I sat down and I edited the article so it didn't have her words or her paraphrase in it. And then I started noticing the way I felt. Like, what if she saw it and she's now thinking about me and she's pissed? And then what if she writes something on her site and I won't see it because she's blocked now? And then she's going to like, and I was like, oh, okay, let me note, whoa, how do I feel right now? And I had an awareness that I've never had before. I know that feeling, but I started to feel it. Like my stomach kind of felt flip-floppy. I felt this like line of energy up through my jaw and teeth that was like, and it was very unpleasant, but not unbearable. And so what helped me is like, as I'm noticing it, I'm like, oh, okay, it's the real danger damage is in trying to avoid it, not in the actual feeling of it. The feeling of it isn't that big a deal. At least that's how I think we work through this stuff. And then I actually was not trying to make it go away because I was trying to like cultivate it so I could see it and pay attention to it. But then over time, when I have the feeling, then I can use the tools like breathing or EFT, and try to regulate my body. So not only am I not afraid of the feeling, but I have the ability to soothe the feeling without, chemicals. Ruth is, how many books may I share with you? You can share as many as you want, but I cannot promise I will read any. If there's specific ones that you feel based on what you said, I think this would apply to you. I'd love to hear them. You can post it on the Hug Nation page if you want to be public, or you can send it to me in a message. I would love anything you want to recommend. I mean, I'm reading Atlas of the Heart right now, and I'm reading the Self-Observation book by Red Hawk. And then I'm also reading the Daily Stoic as well, but that's just a little bit each day. And but also, I'm also starting to like digest some YouTube videos. I've been resistant to that, but I'm trying to watch some YouTube videos instead of like numbing out and watching Netflix. I'm going, okay, as long as I'm sitting down, maybe I should watch something that's helpful. Oh, fawn and freeze is the same thing. Okay, that's good. I don't know the term fawn. Natasha's saying healing is not linear. So maybe you are better today, maybe you're not better tomorrow, but you're still growing, which can be painful. Yeah. Ooh, curious about your EMDR therapy. Is that the vision one? Oh, The Body Keeps the Score. I only have it on Audible, so I can't show it to you, but The Body Keeps the Score is kind of the most talked about book as far as trauma in the body. The other one that my therapist has me reading is Waking the Tiger. Now, both of these books, at least my impression of them, is that they give you an understanding of these ideas, but you still need to work with a therapist. And that's the problem. I'm like, I feel like, okay, I read the books. Now let's do this therapy. Let's heal me. Come on. And I think it's a slow process. At least that's what they are having me believe. Boy, it is raining here. Good, because I got some puddle jumping in my future, right? Um, any other questions or suggestions? Ashley says, my therapist just recommended EMDR. I meet with a specialist next week. I really don't understand it, but I'm excited to try something new. Is that the eye thing? I don't really know it either, but I've heard several people say it's unbelievable. Cool. Well, maybe I will look into that. Good morning, Alex. Luna says, yes, it's eye movement, although it didn't work well for me, so my therapist did auditory instead. I wore headphones and closed my eyes and listened to tones bouncing back and forth between each ear as I talked about my experiences. But same concept. The movement back and forth taps into a way of kind of rewiring your brain. Wow. So it sounds like do a little microdosing, get some neuroplasticity, and then do some EMDR. Maybe that would be a way for me to build up my self-confidence and interesting. Whoa. It was almost an immediate empowerment. Like I was finally driving the bus of my own mental health. Holy shit. Okay, well I'm writing this down. I gotta get a recommendation of an EMDR therapist. EMDR. Okay. That's a solid endorsement. Yes, you can find more about the Gratitude Circle at zoom.hugnation.com. There's more information about that. And then everything, all my stuff, if you go to, that has links to everything, johnston.com. All right, beautiful people. Well, I think I am going to continue on to this day. Thank you for making this morning so beautiful and charging me up. And I hope you have an incredible day. Love you. Bye.